They're covered anyways.
I am here with Michael, Joanne, and Corey, the members of Extra Whip, without Paige, unfortunately, to dish the dirt now on Big Brother Cheesecake 8 Political Bait. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 8 Political Bait. It's day 18 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Alex is the head of household, meaning the Bloc Québécois is safe for the week. He nominated Anne Claire and Sean for eviction, but who will win the Golden Power veto? You'll find out tomorrow. But first, Rhonda could not be with us today because she was going to get her tubes tied, but then when she realized she's 104, she said, fuck it, I'll just go to Vegas. So she's currently watching another 104-year-old Wayne Newton go, Dankeschön, oh, Dankeschön.
All I gotta say is if I'm 104, I hope I look as good as Rhonda.
Exactly, yes.
She looks great for 104, that's for sure.
And Paige was, of course, invited as the most recently evicted house guest, but she is not here. I don't know why. I presume she has a comp in another org, but who knows?
Or maybe, just maybe, Andrew, she's pulling a Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, yes.
Or she could just be afraid of us.
It's been a real rough showing for Team Corey on this cheesecake season so far.
So she's the first conservative out of the game. She's also the second person out of Corey's team out of the game. And she's also the third evicted house guest of the game, which means, Corey, you're down to just Glow and Kendra. Good luck with that. And Joanne has Brooke, Alex, and Anne Claire, better shape. Yeah. And then, I don't know, I'm not going to give my opinion on who has the better team, but Rhonda has Jonathan, Sean, Penny, and Curtis. And Michael, you have Dustin, Davey, Gina, and Zachy.
Yep.
Those are both good teams from the tidbits that we have. Yeah.
Yes, you have definitely. So week 3, it's definitely on. I think after 2 very, very easy weeks with Erica quitting and then an easy Ken vote and then an easy Paige vote, which I forgot to put in the main chat that there was no tie and that we don't have to go to rocks, but nobody noticed or cared because it was obvious. But now the game is on because now Alex has his second head of household, which I have to admit, that's a tough position to be in, to have 2 HOHs early on. Yeah. Curtis did that in season 4. We miss you, Rhonda. And you can make the case that Curtis had 3 HOHs early, and you can make the case that that was the beginning of the end for him. But let's start with Curtis, with a C or with a K. What is the correct spelling of Curtis?
Obviously with a K.
Oh, I'm on a K. I'm on the K kick.
Oh, Corey.
Considering that there's Corey spelt with a K, it's obviously C.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I like the Curtis with a K.
So what are your thoughts on Alex winning his second head of household?
Yay! That's my guy.
I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of dangerous. And I mean, like when I go back to my season, I think this was the week that the pro and anti-Ronnie forces started to consolidate in week 3. And this is really where I think things are going to open up for the house, and you'll find out where some people may or may not stand, depending on your perspective.
Yeah, this is the first season where my declaration of there are 2 alliances or there are 4 alliances really, really gets people talking instantly. Whereas I feel like in the season 6 and 7, when I did that, nobody really cared.
Unless it was the fake alliances that we created near the end of the game, and people went nuts.
Early on, we very much cared in season 7 how many alliances there were. I mean, it was like whenever you get it in, like at least in the kitty, at least in early birds. So we talked about that a lot each week as to like, where are the other alliances? Are we in any of them? How are we keeping those people together with us?
My thought on it always was, because season 6, Andrew, what was it? There was like in the beginning, didn't we have like something ridiculous, like 20 some odd alliances or something like that?
Andrew started a crazy amount of alliances because he didn't really know Big Brother. So he's just like, you two seem fun. Let's have a chat. You two seem fun. Let's have a chat. What about you three? And you three? And he had so many chats early on, and they would have maybe 5 messages in them and would die.
Then die. My thought always was, as long as you're, the numbers, I guess, are concerning, but it's like, as long as you think you're tight with the group you have, or, you're in 2 or 3 yourself, like, I don't think you need to be in everyone. I don't know. It just, the alliance numbers never concerned me in season 6.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I'm sure that there are some people that are frozen out, and I'm not sure who, like people that are not in any alliances whatsoever. And if I were them, I would be worried about that. Yes, my love?
There's one person that's not in any alliance, correct, Andrew? Or 2?
As of the last time that I spoke about it, it was 2.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Because the house gets
You know what,
really
it
a lot of
kind of-
clarification, and so
Andrew kind of reminds me of Chad searching for an alliance and trying to make an alliance with everyone, but can't really find a home. I miss Chad. Where is he? We have to do a pulse on him.
Yeah, he's actually coming up soon on the pulse because I've not spoken to him in a long time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
In our season, I think in season 2, not All Stars, because All Stars there was alliances before we even entered the house. In season 2,
really?
Yeah, there was.
Before the season starts, that never happened.
Yeah. Okay. Never.
Never.
I'm now
I
wise
never
to all
done
you
anything
gamers.
like that.
But in our season, in season 2, Andrew, going into the house, was there, before going into the house, was there alliances, or did it just kind of all get made? Because there wasn't a lot of gamers. There was more bus drivers then.
If there was an alliance in season 2 preseason, I did not know about it.
Yeah.
I don't think
mean,
there was.
I knew Jim going into the season, and him and I said, well, I kind of watch your back, but it was nothing concrete. It just became more concrete as we were in the game.
Yeah, I had one preseason alliance going into my season. Somebody and I shared with each other that we were playing together, but it wasn't somebody that I ended up allying with in the long term anyway. I had a preseason alliance with Kennedy, obviously.
Yeah.
Kennedy and I are super close. Like
I loved Kennedy in your season.
I love Kennedy is one. I have 2.5 org children, so she's one of them. I have 2 full-time and 1 step org child.
Before I forget, I want to wish good luck. If you're watching, you're probably not, because you're probably so nervous and you're probably having the nervous poops, but Owen, the winner, or excuse me, the runner-up.
Andrew, just because that's the way you wanted it to happen.
Hold on, no, I can defend myself. Owen, who won Backyard Big Brother, is playing in Backyard Mole this weekend, and that's what was in my head.
In your head?
He is, yeah, I know. There's not much going on.
Which one are we talking about here now?
Yeah.
It is Owen, so it's
yeah, no.
So Owen is playing Backyard Mole this season, which is hosted by Eitan from Big Brother Cheesecake 1 and 5, who's a great host, great LRG player, not so great at Big Brother Cheesecake, but he did reasonably well. We won't get into that. I know Joanne, I can tell you want to talk about him, but I don't want to get too sidetracked. But I want to wish Owen the best of luck. He told me he was not the mole, which of course the mole would say. I believe him though, because he also said, I want to be the first person to win Backyard Big Brother and Backyard Mole. And I feel like, and then he also said, I applied to be the mole, but when they said the mole doesn't get any money, I was like, well, that's stupid. I want to go for the money. So
that's our Owen.
So I'm thinking that he is not the mole. I think he's being honest with me and he's not the mole. But
well, good
Andrew,
luck.
I have a question for you, Andrew. With the LBAs that are out there. Has
Yeah.
anybody kind of tripped themselves up already in like the DMs and in diary room on like showing those LBAs to other players?
In other words, the oops, that's the wrong chat.
Yeah.
There has been an oops, that's the wrong chat. Yes, that happens in every season.
Of course.
I think people are forgetting that the LBAs are going to be, they're contractually obligated to it. So when you say to someone, I'm never going to nominate you to Final Six, you can't say that to a second and a third and a fourth person because you have to have people to nominate. So there has been an instance of somebody getting mathematically declined by myself because they just cannot do it based on the other obligations they have. That's all I
See,
can
with
say about
with
that.
the LBAs, you didn't put like a time frame on them, right? So like that first week, because creating an LBA would get you a colossal advantage, wouldn't you just be like, hey, this week, let's not vote against each other. LBA, we both get advantages, bam. And then that after that first week, that's done, right? Like
That's the easy way to do it, but I think only one couple did that. I think everybody else did long-term stuff.
that would have been. Well, you know me and Rhonda would have jumped on that. Well, we either would have just been like, oh, we're just gonna keep each other to the end anyways, but like
No.
we would have jumped on something like that right away.
Now, speaking of colossal advantages,
Yes,
we're,
yes.
we're 1 for 2. We're batting 500 because Anne Claire played it, had 3 bonus lives, and she scored 3 out of 10 on the quiz, and Alex scored 8 out of 10.
So
So
let me, like, did everybody lie to her about the list that she got? That's because like even 3 out of 10, that's kind of
surveys.
depressing.
I can't really speak.
I know you can't answer that. That was more rhetorical.
Those
And anything
survey
else, like-
ones are tough though. I've lost one on 9 out of 10 because Steven had a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but she got
Like
3.
3. I know,
I
but
mean,
but
no
there is
offense,
the
Anne Claire.
randomness to it too, though, because all Andrew had to do was what was the winning one? 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Alex at 8.
Alex's? So he just would have had to have picked one of those 2 that he didn't get because it's random, right? So, but still, yeah, 3's not a great showing. And from the sounds of it, that's not even. Am I allowed to talk about how the surveys work in our season? Like, is that going to spoil anything? Because that
I'll
didn't
stop
sound
you.
like.
Go ahead. I'll stop you if.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's like that one didn't even seem like the hardest of the 3
Oh, of the comps?
of the survey columns.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one is typically the easiest one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is the easiest out of the 3.
Ours was the averages. That the averages was tough because if you didn't have like to try and mathematically figure out averages was brutal, especially if you didn't have
Actually, I would say the second one was the easiest of the 3.
this season or our season.
I don't remember yours, but of Michael's season, I think the second one was the easier one.
I think the second one is the one I had the 9 on, so
Yeah.
it probably was for us too.
So she unfortunately, not only did she play the colossal advantage, but it didn't work out in her favor. Now I can reveal that for those of you watching, this is new. I don't think it's new to the 3 of you. No, it's not new. But to those of you watching, it's new. That for the 3rd competition in a row, somebody touched my penis. I mean, pushed the penis-shaped button in the diary room to play a colossal advantage, and it was Sean. So Sean will have a colossal advantage. He's a nominee.
Yeah,
And
that's going to be a big help.
Wait. Andrew,
Okay, go ahead.
when he touched that, what was he wearing?
That's a good question.
In your
Oh,
head.
God.
I don't know.
Andrew
Tell
probably
me,
wasn't.
Andrew, what he was wearing.
I know
He wasn't
exactly
paying
what
attention to that.
I know exactly what he was wearing, but I don't know if I want to say that on the air.
It's Andrew. None of the hot boys are wearing anything in his head.
Oh no, he's wearing something. No, he's wearing something. Oh,
I was just gonna say he wasn't paying attention to what he was wearing. So he was getting his penis touched. So
Yes.
But I do have a question. So since Paige isn't here, really,
Yes.
you know, from your perspective, without giving away too much, why did she end up going home?
Okay.
Or like maybe the better question is, What do you think she would? How do you think she would answer that question?
So Paige wasn't Kendra. So Kendra's original nominations were Glow and Gina. Then
Right.
Gina goes and wins a diamond veto, which granted she had a costly advantage to help her, but still a big win. So then she was the one who put up Paige, and I think the reason why she did it is Paige was by far the least active person. So it was the easiest person that there would be no blood on her hands, and that's the direction it was going to go in. Now, because Glow, the remaining nominee, was Kendra's nomination, and Paige was Gina's nomination.
Gina's.
There was at first, it wasn't a clear-cut unanimous like it was with Ken. There was sort of the original, because there were some people that were originally thinking Glow or Gina because we didn't think that Gina was going to get the diamond. So there was a little bit more discussion of what happened, of like what we're going to do. I'm just trying to think if I can say what I want to say.
I mean, that's enough for me. I don't want you to like go too deep into what's actually happening in the game and give something away. Because you know that
I think it's common. I think most of the house guests know, and she's out of the game now anyway. Kendra definitely played something with Paige before, and they were close, and so it was also actually a move to split up Kendra and Paige, which may help Kendra in the future, because even though Paige was her ally, it's still, like when Brendan and Rachel or Jeff and Jordan are split up, it helps the survivor big time. Same with Brett and Winston in 20.
Yeah.
Brett made it really far once Winston was out of the way. So it could help.
Oh, Winston.
Well, I hope it helps Kendra, because I drafted Kendra and I didn't even realize Paige and her had history. So
do you like Winston just because he holds guns all the time on his Instagram? Is this what it is?
No, I don't like guns. I grew up with guns. So no, I don't like guns. Anyhow, but I think that this week is going to be very interesting, because now we're going to get to a serious vote. I don't think you're going to see that 11-1 like for the first two votes for Ken and for Paige, like one vote for the other person. I don't think you're going to see that this time.
And neither week did anybody fess up to being the one that I know of.
They'd be idiots too.
Right.
Do you think Rhonda had a question that I was going to ask Paige, but she's not here. So I'm going to ask you, Andrew. Do you think that her inactivity had a lot to do with her being voted out?
Yes.
And that's what probably cost her the game.
She definitely was not going to be one of Kendra's nominations.
Okay.
I will say when Gina won the Diamond Power Veto, there were some people that just assumed, okay, Glow's going to go now, because she's erratic and you don't know, she doesn't even know what she's thinking. But then Paige goes on the block, and because Paige is so inactive, I really do think if Paige was trying to get to know people and just to be, no, you don't have to be overly social or active. You just have to, be in the fold. And I think if she tried, it would have been, there was a good chance she would have stayed. So I think inactivity was the number one reason. Yeah.
Okay.
But at this point, it sounds like all the pretty much inactive people are gone. Like everybody else is kind of engaged, at least in a moderate or
I don't know. There's still a few names in videos that haven't come up, or they've come up.
We haven't
and you
heard
haven't
about
heard
either.
anything. So that I don't know if there's inactivity, but there's definitely there's at least like 3 people flying under the radar.
No, I'm going to agree with that. Like one of the people that I know that's on that list is definitely not usually an under the radar player. So,
Joanne, in All Stars, JoJo got mad. Background, that's what it was. In All Stars, there was kind of a running joke. I had the pro Ronnie, anti Ronnie. So in season 5, I had a segment where I just said the following people are background, and I would just call people out who were in the background. JoJo was one of them, and in All Stars, it's always smart if you can to lay low, because everybody goes nuts at the beginning.
Well, everyone goes right for the jugular in the beginning.
Right. So, I said, background people. And yes, I would say there are 2 people that come to mind. Actually, there's one that I totally forgot. Because remember how I said there's one person who's not in any alliances, and then I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this person. I would actually say 1, 2, 3. Now, in fairness, 2 of the people Should I name names?
No.
Don't name names. It's just I know, like, even
Oh.
from the videos, I'm sure they're doing something,
Right.
but the fact that they haven't even been brought up really in videos yet, like,
It's actually 4 people. I'm going to name 2 of them because I think they have a legitimate reason why they've been background. Jonathan and Penny have been background, but Bloc Québécois has been safe 2 of
Yeah.
the 3 weeks. So when Alex is in
one
power,
of those is it was one of the ones I was thinking.
so when
Mhm.
Alex is in power, they don't really
Knock,
have
knock.
to do anything. And Kendra pretty early on was telling people Glow and Gina were going up, neither of whom were Bloc Québécois. So really, I can't blame them for stepping back. I would do it if I was in zero.
I hope for their sake, they're using this time to build relationship. Because when you know you're safe, that is the best time. That's where you do
Yeah.
I'll scratch your back now, maybe I'll help you with a vote now, but down the road, maybe you'll get me back later. Like this is the time for that.
There's a big difference between inactive and background. Background is a strategy. Inactive or invisible, as Tiffany likes to say, is not a strategy.
Well,
And
we
that,
should
and that
carry
was
in
Paige, right? Paige was
Inactive.
out of the picture.
inactive-ish. Yeah.
Now she's gone for good. Ooh,
It's
hello.
interesting. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
Andrea.
It's interesting how these colossal advantages, I put this twist in. It's similar to the flipper twist in season 3, where I don't know if any of you know, but if you push a button, the vote count is reversed. So a 10-2 vote becomes a 2-10 vote. So the opposite nominee goes home. But it's only effective if one person pushes it. And only once in season 3 did one person push it, which is when Rhonda told Emad to push it, and then Emad flipped the vote onto himself and was evicted. He was safe. He was a safe nominee, and Rhonda's like, I think you should push the button. Oops.
Andrew, that I remember that was Amy's season, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this time around, we've had 3 colossal advantages played successfully in a row. Do you think it's because people are saving theirs for when they really, really, really need it, and they're not willing to?
That I do think that's why, but at the same time, that's when they're not going to be used, because other people are going to use them at the same time. And I'm actually surprised that hasn't happened yet, considering how often they've been used. I'm surprised people aren't using them to make sure that one doesn't get used.
Yeah, but do you want to give, I wouldn't give mine up just to cancel somebody else's out this early. Because like what who used the first one? Because I know we have Sean now, Gina, and who was the first one?
Well, Gina was the first. Then it was Anne Claire.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And now we
Claire
have
and
Sean.
Sean. And they all needed to use it. Unfortunately, Anne Claire was less than successful with hers, but yeah, they all needed to use it.
But even considering the political parties twist, like, you'd think between parties they'd be talking and been like, hey, if we all have an advantage, maybe they're even not even talking if they have an advantage or not. So, but I mean, you could be like, hey, if we use these things on HOHs the next few weeks, that gives us a chance at staying safe. All you need is one of them to win. So it's like, early on, this actually isn't a bad time to be using them.
So every time I declare this is a deadline for Colossal Advantage, it does light up in chats, should we use it? So it's being considered, it's not being ignored. But I just think ultimately people just don't want to use it. But how would you feel, Michael, if you don't use yours, somebody terrible against you uses it, gets power, and then you're knocked out when you could have?
I mean, there is that possibility, but like, I know at least at this point in my game, I was still the auto nominee at this point. So like, this is week 3. So I still had, this was my last week as the auto nominee.
Yeah.
So like, I was fighting in a whole different context at this point, because this is the week, if anybody was going to take a shot at me, they would have, because I was going to be on the block. But I think I won. I won veto that week. Because I took myself off the last week.
I remember watching it, but
Go ahead.
I can't remember that far back.
I'm pretty sure he's right, but I'm going to double check because it's right here. So I may as well.
Don't worry.
Yes, you won grand game. Yes.
Yeah, that would.
Okay, so let's do something fun.
Okay.
I'm going to post live the rules to the temptation competition. Speaking, and Michael just brought up the temptation competition, which he lost. So I'm going to
Yeah.
post the rules, and only the first person who responds with "so-and-so accepts the temptation" will get it.
In the exact letters, all caps.
Yes,
Spelling
Michael,
count.
correct. Yes,
Spelling
and I know
always
there's
counts.
at least one person who is specifically waiting for it. So let's.
I wonder if I have a good idea who that person is.
See here.
Oh, please.
Oh, but before I push it, anybody you want to see play the temptation comp? It could end up going well or badly.
It could end up going like.
Oh yeah, I know that for a fact.
Well, yeah, and your comp was hard. That wasn't an easy comp. At
Yeah,
all.
Andrew like really fucked me over that time.
Oh yeah, he loves to do that.
I know. And I knew it was going to be about, I knew what it was going to be about, but he was asking questions that like I didn't see on any single trivia list about that topic. Okay. Who do we want? I mean, I would like to see one of the background people go for it.
Yeah. I think we need a change here.
I know.
Considering
I have a feeling
HOH
that,
has been the same.
yeah, I have a feeling that Brooke is just waiting.
Oh, can we talk? Okay, we'll quickly talk about that. So
That's who I thought was probably.
Yeah, she on my list too.
every week, Brooke complains that she doesn't get picked for anything, and it's and it's. I mean, granted, it's only week 3, but still, she is playing in this veto, but only because Alex picked her via House Guest Choice. Her name hasn't come up for a veto competition, and her name has not come up for Pringles Party. And I will say, for veto competition, Kendra's played in all 3. Gina's played in 2, Dustin's played in all 3, Anne Claire's played in 2, Alex has played in all 3. There's a lot of people who haven't played yet at all. And this is just fact, so I can just name those people now. So
Yeah.
Davey hasn't played in a veto yet. Curtis, I don't think, has played in a veto yet. Jonathan.
I have 3 team members playing in the veto this week.
Ooh. Glow hasn't even played in a veto yet. Oh, and speaking of which,
we need more Glow in our lives. Glow, where are you?
I think
Glow,
that
how was it playing for the Chicago Cubs? These are things I need to know.
No, you know, she wasn't playing. She was the mascot.
Oh, right.
And then the water lady.
I
We
think
love you,
what happened
Glow.
was
Glow in my life.
Glow really got scared from week 2 when she was on the block and when she knew there was the potential going home. And I've noticed this week she's laying low. Or trying to lay low, because she hasn't had any stories on, giving birth to FDR or whatever. So anyway,
Did you see in the org chat, she started chatting me up, Andrew?
Oh, lovely. That's right. Yes, because I said she was like Don Cherry because she said, "Thank you, people saved me. Thank you for that." And I'm like, oh wow, it sounds like Don Cherry because she started a sentence with "you people."
You people.
But anyway, last thing before I get to that, Glow did get the blackout torture chamber, which is the opposite of what Michael wants. So she has as if it isn't bad enough that she's Glow, she has a disadvantage in every competition until she wins one. Will she escape this?
You basically made her me for every competition.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, but I think you said at some point, if she chooses to use a colossal advantage, it just negates and she has no advantage, no disadvantage, right?
If she uses a colossal advantage, yeah.
While she has the blackout, it just basically puts her at 0 instead of +1 or -1.
No, she can use the colossal advantage, and it will give her a colossal advantage, but it will not take her out of the chamber.
Oh, okay.
She'll go right back in the chamber following that.
So when she wins with that, it doesn't count as her win to get her out.
Correct. Yes.
That's rough.
Okay, so we have the 10-minute warning. So let's do it. Let's post the rules to the competition.
Yeah.
There it goes. And balls have dropped, and Sean has accepted the temptation. So that was what? 0.00002 seconds. So let me read it. So he basically accepted it not knowing what it was, because I said the rules were going to be in there. This is what he accepted. I will read it. We'll save thoughts for the end. House guests. There were 5 questions in Political Who Wants to Be a Millionaire week 2 that were not uncovered. 64,000, 125,000, 250,000, 500,000, and the $1 million questions, the 5 hardest questions. Because they are politically themed, I cannot recycle them for future seasons, so instead they will be used for a temptation competition. The person who accepts the temptation will face all 5 questions and must answer all 5 questions with no lifelines. The person who accepts the temptation will earn a clue to the whereabouts of the hidden immunity idol regardless of the result. Here's what the final score prizes submissions are. 5 out of 5. This is Zach screaming. Zach basically is the Rayanne of the season. He screams at everything. Screams into the void. 5 out of 5 correct. The first ever steal a power. You can steal any power in the game except one that will be specified when uncovered, which hasn't been issued yet, up to and including the week of the final 6. 4 out of 5 correct. You get a vote tripler and immunity from rocks. 3 out of 5 correct. You get a vote tripler or immunity from rocks. 2 out of 5, nothing. 1 out of 5, instant initial nominee, week 4, the Michael Schwartz special, it's only for 1 week. And 0 out of 5, the first ever one, double Pooh Brown power veto, where you must save a nominee and replace them with yourself twice in the next 4 weeks.
Wow.
So, thoughts on that?
I think that, well,
you're being a lot more generous.
Yeah,
you're way more generous than you were with Michael.
These are the 5 hardest millionaire political questions, and you have a 1 in 4 chance if you're just guessing at each one. So yes, I was generous.
But I think that like it balances on the other side. The other stuff sucks. Like the one having an auto nominee for 1 week, okay, that's not too bad. But if you really fuck up, that's a double Pooh Brown.
Yeah,
and
that's harder than what I did.
Yeah, well, the problem with the double Pooh Brown is at least auto nominee, you get to play the veto.
Yeah.
Pooh Brown is after the veto, and you
Nothing.
re-nom yourself.
Yeah.
So
Right, exactly.
Which was Michael.
You're up against somebody you really hate.
Which Michael, that was the 0 out of 10 in your season, but you had I think, 2 out of 10, I think, or 3.
I had 3, and I had I had 2.
You had 2, yeah.
I had 2 because it went to tracing. So if I'd gotten 5, would have been nothing at all. I didn't get anything. So yeah.
So last but not least, because there's only 6 minutes left, did Dustin make the right decision to pick the veto vault where you play in every veto no matter what versus the vote tripler or the immunity from rocks?
Go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to say, I know it might put a target on you, but that is such a valuable, I don't know. I think I still would have taken it. I think you can still cut deals if you can play in every veto. You can use that to your advantage.
So you would have taken the veto vault.
I think I still would have taken it.
I would have gone for the vote tripler. I wouldn't have touched that veto at all because I think at that point Gina already had it, or was Gina last? Whoever had it, I wouldn't have taken it away. It would have been more of a target. So I would have gone with the vote tripler as opposed to the play in every veto.
Sean always has some good one-liners. So Kendra says, hope you know political trivia. It would suck to have to put yourself on the block or be a nominee. Sean, I'm already a nominee.
Oh God.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Are you playing this millionaire rule? So if he gets 1 wrong, it's done.
No, you play all 5.
Okay.
And however many you get. But I will toast real quick before we go out. We missed you, Rhonda. Come back to us next week.
I have a drink this time too.
Woohoo!
So is there anything else that anybody would like to say?
Some of you need to get your heads out of your asses.
Yeah, some people need to wake up. And I said, I need some more glow in my life.
Sorry. I just. Kendra responds to that with, I mean, if your colossal advantage gets you off the block, good luck. Sean, I'm not sure why you're being combative, but okay. Kendra, I'm not. Sean, I'll take my luck, I suppose. Just like live drama.
Woohoo!
Kendra kind of seems like a little bit bossy to me.
Oh, So okay, are you just saying that because Ken said it last week?
No, I'm actually saying it because she seems bossy. Like, listen to what she just said.
No comment on that one. But Joanne's thoughts are of Joanne and Joanne's alone. They're so wait, and then Sean continues with, you immediately popped up to criticize and say that you hope my political trivia is good, and then that about my nomination. Now there's more people typing. It's a shame we have to go in 3 minutes. Oh my God.
I wish I could see all of this. I can't wait till I do.
Kendra's typing. Oh, she stopped typing.
I do think while you're watching, I thought that I was laughing my ass off on Glow's plea, and you're like, I am not making this up. I was dying. And it's like, as much as I didn't want Paige or Glow to go, I was almost like, Glow almost deserves to stay because of that plea.
That was the Clyde plea? That was the Clyde part? When she talked about Clyde?
About her being young with the Chicago Cubs and stuff like that. Her plea to not get voted out.
He makes good TV.
Yeah.
Oh no. Kendra says the bottom two things on there say you will either be a nominee or you have to become a nominee with the poo-poo veto thing. Sean says, yes, I can read.
Oh man.
I can't wait to meet some of these people at Extra Wit.
And then
Kendra
we have to do something. We have to make an LBA for them to make sure that they come to the show because Paige didn't come.
That's all right. We're entertaining enough if they don't show.
Absolutely.
So anyway, with that said, who will win the Golden Power Veto? Find out tomorrow. And Monday, will they use it to save Anne Claire or Sean from the chopping block? Tuesday, the final two nominees will plead their case, and we will find out if Sean wins or loses the Temptation competition. And Wednesday's the next live fiction and head of household competition, where another house guest will be evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 8 house, get impeached from Congress, and lose their shot at the $800 cash prize. I'm Andrew Shevsik-Moonves. Take care, and remember, a week is a long time in politics. Good night.